Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Brent Jones, New Home Source Realty. How are you? Let's talk about putting your house on the market. Why would we do that? Because it's a great time to put your house on the market. You probably have heard houses are selling like hotcakes. It is crazy. So it'd be a great time for you to put in your house on the market. So let's talk about what your options are going to be. And before we get into all this, click note like this video and leave a comment. So, a couple of options. First of all, we've talked about that I have a unique program, fullpricehomesale.com, where you can go and enter your information and get a full price offer on your house. You're not going to list your house, you're going to sell your house. Full price cash, okay? Um, so if you wanted to exercise that option, see if that would be a good fit for you, again, go to fullpricehomesale.com. Be sure to enter code TX19. That gets you to me, and that's what you want. So that would be option number one. Option number two, you're going to list it the traditional way. And the traditional way is you're going to get a realtor, be happy to help. Or if you have a realtor, whatever the case may be, but you're going to have somebody help you sell your house. And let's talk about what to expect when you put your house on the market, the do's and don'ts of putting your house on the market. So, first of all, excuse me, I got a sore throat. I've got this thing in my mouth. Um, so, first of all, with me, I've been in real estate for 30 years, okay? I literally have been in thousands of houses. I've been in everything from multi-million-dollar mansions to trailers out in the middle of the country that are about to fall over that they were probably cooking meth in last month. And I've been in everything in between. And it's kind of funny. Sometimes people, sellers, don't use a whole lot of common sense when they're going to put their house on the market. For instance, if you were going to sell your car, most people would have enough common sense to know, hey, if you're going to sell your car, you might want to get the McDonald's wrappers out of the back seat, right? You might want to run it through a car wash before you market it for sale, right? You may maybe even want to wax it, right? People have enough common sense to know to do that. But you'd be amazed. Sometimes sellers, they just get a realtor, they stick a sign in the yard, and presto, they put it on the market, and that's it. Um, let's talk about some common sense, easy, inexpensive ways to give your house a mass appeal. And let me just say this. I am not one of the realtors who want you to spend tens of thousands of dollars. And I have some colleagues, I have some other realtors that I network with, and they are. I know realtors that want you to completely redo your master bathroom and redo your kitchen and redo all the floors and paint the whole thing. And we're talking tens of thousands of dollars. Never been a big fan of that for a multitude of reasons. Because if you were to do all that and you put your color schemes and your decorator ideas, who's to say the new buyer is going to have the same taste? They may end up ripping everything out that you just paid tens of thousands of dollars for. If your little girl's room is Pepto Bismol pink, or if your little boy's room is Dallas Cowboy blue, so be it. I'm not one of these that says everything has to be a neutral color. Paint is the easiest fix that there is. Now, if you have a deficiency, like your carpet is just nasty, and I've actually been in houses where the carpet was so disgusting, I felt like going home and burning my shoes. If you have something that's just a major turnoff, yeah, let's talk about that. And there are contractors, I know contractors, who will actually go ahead and do the work ahead of time, and then they'll wait to get paid when you close on the house. So that would be a possibility too. But if it's just you don't like the color of the wall, in my opinion, not a big deal. But let me tell you about buyers. People don't realize that when a buyer comes to see your house, what they're doing primarily, and the National Association of Realtors has done this study. Buyers, when they come to see your house, they're really looking for an excuse to mark your house off the list so they can go on down the street and look at your neighbor's house that's for sale. And if you give them an excuse to mark your house off their list, that's exactly what they'll do. And you realize that their opinion of your house begins when they pull up out front, before they've ever even set foot in the house. Very first thing is called curb appeal. Your yard doesn't have to be perfectly manicured like a golf course, but come on, it needs to be mowed. The weeds in the flower bed need to be taken care of. You only get one chance to make a good first impression, okay? And when they're getting out of the car and they're walking up to your front door, what do they see? The grass in your yard's a foot tall. The only living thing you have in the flower bed is weeds and grass. Come on, you need to have that taken care of. You want to make a good first impression. So that would be the yard. When they step inside, one of the first things they're going to experience is odors. And you can have a lot of different kinds of odors. You know, pet odors where there's cats, dogs. If you have a smoker in the house, not a good thing. That smoker needs to, number one, they need to quit smoking would be a good idea. Number one, but they need to go smoke in the backyard or whatever. But pet odors, cigarettes, cigars, pipes, those can be a huge turnoff. Some people cook with very spicy spices. Odors, but it does. So put out some potpourri. Um, my wife has these little things that you plug into the wall, whatever those things are called. But something, spray the house, do what you can, air it out, do what you can to get odors off, because that can be a huge turnoff to a lot of people. Kitchens and bathrooms, let's talk about that. My word of advice there would be, when it comes to kitchens and bathrooms, less is more. And by that, I mean your kitchen counters and your bathroom counters. If you don't need it, get rid of it. All the appliances and all the mixers and the toasters and everything, blenders, you're not using them, get them off the countertop, because it just makes your kitchen look cluttered. And the more stuff you have, the smaller it makes the room feel, and the more it's a distraction. Same thing in the bathrooms. Ladies, if you have a ton of makeup all over the kitchen counter, they can't really, they're too focused on everything you have out on the counter to really appreciate the bathroom. If you don't need it for everyday use, put it away. Furniture would be something else. If you have big time oversized furniture and you've got a reclining chair that you really haven't sat in 3 years, get rid of it. Put it in the garage, give it to a relative, donate it to charity, get a storage bin. But again, the more furniture you have, the smaller it's going to make the room feel. People like big. They like open. Closets is another thing. If you can clean out the closets, and I don't mean they have to be bare, I don't mean everything has to be out of it, but people love closet space. And the more stuff you have cram packed into the closets, they can't appreciate how big the closet is. So if you can get rid of a lot of the clutter in the closets, that would be great. Let's talk about pictures that you have hanging up on the wall. And there's two kinds of pictures that I want to talk to you about. The first one's going to be pictures of you and your family. Now, I know realtors that say you got to take down everything. I don't agree with that. It's still your house. You still want to have some of your family pictures up. But have you ever been in a house and you're walking down the hallway and you're going through a time zone? You're going through like 100 years of the family tree of this family, dating back to the 1800s or whatever. And you're going through time as you walk down the hallway, and there's just so much of their relatives and their ancestors looking down and staring down at you. That would be a bit much. That you need to seriously consider. If you could get rid of half of your family picture, and when I say get rid of them, I don't mean throw them away. I mean put them in storage. But if you can have them taken down, I don't say you have to get them all down, but take some of them down. Okay, and here's why. I have learned in my 30 years of being in real estate one thing, one major thing. People, by and large, don't have very good imagination. They only see what they see. They don't see what it could be. They see only what they see. And if there's so much of you and your family in that house, they have a hard time seeing or visualizing themselves and their family in your house. So that's why it's important to minimize how many family pictures you have. I didn't say get rid of all of them, minimize. Here's the other thing. If you have a picture of Biden or Trump hanging over your mantle in your fireplace, I would suggest you take it down. Okay. And doesn't matter what your political leanings are or how passionate you are about your political beliefs. You do understand in this country, whatever you believe, the other half of the country believes exactly the opposite, right? So why would you want to turn off 50% of the potential buyers that come into your house? There's a time for politics. It's not when you're trying to sell your house. So that kind of thing, I would say put those in storage as well. Save those for your next new house. All right, let's go outside real quickly. If you have a pool, the pool needs to be clean. I've shown houses where there's frogs living in the pool. I mean, the water is so dark, it's unbelievable. It doesn't have to be crystal clear, but it would be great if it is. If your pool is dirty and it's got mold and it looks green or dark, that's bad. And really, the only problem is you haven't cleaned it in a while. But you know what the buyers are thinking? Remember what we talked about earlier? They're looking for an excuse to mark your house off their list. They see a dirty, dark pool. They see a pool with algae. They're going to think, oh, honey, this pool's got, oh, it's cracked. It needs to be replastered. The pool pump's not working. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars. Let's go find another house. And all it really needed was to be clean. So clean the pool before you put your house on the market and keep it clean while your house is on the market. Another thing, you know that when you put your house on the market, the buyer has the right, when you get a contract, to have the house inspected. And the inspector is not going to move stuff from out of the way to get to the different components that he needs to inspect. He's not going to grab your stuff and move it. He's not. Multitude of liability issues as to why he's not going to handle your stuff and move it. It could come crashing down on top of him, or he moves it and it falls, and now he's going to have to pay for it. He's not going to move your stuff to get to what he needs. And what does he need to get to? Well, lots of things, but what I'm talking about in particular here are things like your hot water heater, your electrical panels, your HVAC units. He needs to be able to get to those. But if you've got stuff piled up in front of the electrical panel or the hot water heater or the HVAC units and he can't get to them, he's just going to have a big question mark in that section of the inspection report. So it's not good. So now the buyers have paid him, and there's major components he wasn't able to get to render them his opinion. So while you're getting your house ready to put on the market, this would be a great time. If there's any obstructions or anything keeping a future inspector from being able to get to those kinds of things, this would be a good time to get those removed. All right, so why do we want to do all this? Well, you want to make a good first impression. Your realtor, or if you call me, you're going to have pictures taken, professional pictures taken, and you want those pictures to look as good as possible. And they can't look good if there's stuff everywhere, if there's clutter everywhere. They can't look good if there's dirty dishes in the kitchen. Um, they can't. The pictures can't look good if the kids have got their dirty socks all thrown on the floor. So you want your house to look as nice as possible for the pictures. And also, you know what? In today's world with COVID or post-COVID or whatever phase it is that we're in now, video is big. Video is going to become king. Trust me. And so in addition to having pictures taken of your house, you could, would, should, I do anyway on my listings, have video done as well. And I actually put a QR code on my realtor sign out in the front yard. So if somebody pulls up and they see the sign and they're interested in the house, they can just scan that QR code and presto, here it is on their phone. Here's a virtual tour of your house. How cool is that? But again, in order to have a good there's a company called Showing Time, used to be CSS. Good company. When I'm showing houses, I absolutely call Showing Time to set up my appointments. When I have listings, typically I like to handle the listings myself. And the reason for that is I have in years past had listings. We let the appointment service handle everything. My sellers are sitting on the couch watching TV in their pajamas, and their front door comes flying open, and here walks in a realtor in some strangers, and my sellers were never notified that they had a showing. That's why I like to handle all of my showings myself. I'm not saying that's the way every realtor has to do it, but I've just as a courtesy to my sellers, when I take a listing, I say, you know what? There's never going to be a time when your front door is going to go flying open and here walk in some strangers. You will always hear from me personally about, hey, Susie from ABC Realty wants to show your house at 2 o'clock. Yes or no? Will that be okay? You will hear from me specifically. You're going to give me your permission, and that way there's no surprises, no bad surprises. Let me say one other thing real quick. Typically, you should ask for about an hour's notice to have a showing. Let me just say this: there are some sellers that, for whatever reason, they require 24 hours notice. I'm just going to tell you, I've again been doing this for 30 years. In the real world, you don't have 24 hours. So if you're a seller and you're going to put that requirement that you have to have 24-hour notice, you're going to kill the number of showings you're going to have, because it doesn't happen in the real world. Here's the real world. At 9 o'clock at night, the wife's going to text you and she's going to say, hey, you know what? My husband decided he's not going to go into work tomorrow. So can we go look at houses in the morning? That's the real world. So then you're going to, okay, and now you're going to go and you're going to start calling and try to get appointments for that next morning. But you don't have 24 hours. You'll be lucky if you have 12 hours. So putting a 24-hour limitation on your house is just not realistic. Okay. A couple of the last things I want to mention real quick. Get your kids involved in this. Have a family meeting about why you're putting your house on the market and what's going to happen when you put your house on the market, and how the kids are going to benefit if and when you sell your house. That, Johnny, you get to have your own room now. I mean, let them know that when you sell your house, what y'all's future plan is and how it's going to benefit the kids. Get them involved, because you need their help. You need them to help keep their room clean and their bathroom clean before they leave to go to school, assuming, and again, in this COVID times, that they are going to school. But you need their help, because you can't do everything. So if they would pick up their socks when they're done, wipe out the sink from the toothpaste when they brush their teeth before they went to school, get them involved, explain to them the benefits of why it's important to sell their house and what cool things are going to happen when they sell it, how they're going to be benefited from it. Last thing I'm going to mention, valuables. What about the valuables that you have in your house? Well, let's start with guns. In Texas, we all have guns, right? Actually, that's not true. But should you have anything like that, some people do. This is Texas, especially when you get out in the country. But if you were to have something like that, be sure that you put those away. You put them in the closet, gun safe, locked up, safe, gone, out of the reach of anybody and everybody. Okay, and so that's number one. Number two, prescriptions. Don't have prescriptions laying around. Just don't do that. And any cash and jewelry, put all that up as well. Now, I'm not saying all this to alarm you that, hey, your realtor is going to be allowing criminals into your house. That's not the case. But anything of any value or anything that's a potential hazard just needs to be gone. It's completely out of sight, so that it's not even an issue. Okay. So good luck in selling your house. It's a great decision. It's a great time. It's a ridiculous time. I mean, you can sell your house now for more money than you can get multiple offers. It's going to be great. It's going to be wild. I would be happy to help you. I would be honored to help you. Again, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've helped many thousands of people sell their house. But whether you use me or another realtor, I do wish you the best of luck in your selling of your house. Anything I can do, feel free to contact me, direct message me, inbox me. I'm happy to help. Brent Jones, New Home Source Realty, 214-649-4528. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.